Hello friends, welcome to this channel, Center of Excellence Pharma 4. In today's episode, I am going to discuss about IoT Insights, that's connecting the pharma value chain. To give you a brief idea about our focus, our plan for Center of Excellence Pharma 4. As you are aware, many emerging technologies like cloud, AI, IoT, blockchain, robotics, chatbot are coming up. How these various emerging technologies can contribute in challenges into pharma industry and how it will help to achieve operational and business excellence. That is what is our objective. Based on to this, we have developed a concept, Center of Excellence Pharma 4. We are discussing more details at our website, respa.com. We have also launched a course on Udemy platform, Smart Manufacturing in Pharma, which has got about 20 modules discussing various technologies and pharma industry. Our YouTube channel was launched about 5 years back. Today it has 380 videos discussing from business strategies going up to the audits and validation. Podcast channel which you are listening is a 113th episode, and I'm sure you must have listened earlier episodes, and this has got an excellent response globally because we are discussing on latest emerging technologies, latest challenges into the pharma industry, and how these things will help to move from adoption of digital transformation. Our book series is launched onto Amazon platform. These books are available in Kindle as well as paperback. And today there are 10 books are published. So with this introduction, let me start with today's agenda. I'm going to discuss about introduction, 5 pillars of IoT-enabled pharmaceutical value chain integration, manufacturing and production, supply chain and logistic, advanced manufacturing integration and Industry 4 capabilities, quality control and regulatory compliances, market dynamics and investment patterns, regional leadership and technological convergence, patient engagement and connected care innovations, regulatory framework evolution and compliance innovation, future implications and strategic transformation, and finally the conclusion. So let's start with the overview about IoT into pharma. The first thing is it's the transformative digital revolution. IoTs are connecting every stage of the pharmaceutical value chain, which creates an intelligent, responsive, and optimized ecosystem. We are talking about a digital ecosystem, how that data can be captured directly in a real-time basis from IoTs. There's a comprehensive connectivity which extends beyond the simple device networking and gets interconnected from the web with the sensors, systems, and analysis. That's what it is the objective. And this is more focused on to manufacturing execution systems. It also focuses on to the warehouses. It also focuses on to distribution and logistics. And this is where the IoT spending is surging, it's increasing, which was there in about 4 billion in 2024 is likely to cross more than 12 billion in 2033 with a growth rate of around 12%. There are many more technologies are getting convergence. These are combining with the sensors, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, advanced analytics, and this is where these integrated technologies are playing a role to achieve operational and business excellence. And IoT play a key role as a foundational infrastructure in achieving this thing. So this data is captured by an IoT. So IoT plays an important role. Illustrations of IoT devices, if you look at from the various angles, the smartwatches are now monitoring the medical data from the patients and all. That tracks the vital signals and the health metrics and provides a real-time data to the healthcare providers. Healthcare icons are representing the IoT devices, and that is what is connecting the various medical devices together, which helps in the diagnostics and all that sort of thing. So when we are really looking into the entire value chain, we cover up from patients to the pharma products manufacturing. This is also applicable in research and development. So it is transitioning from the traditional old compartmentalized systems where we are capturing the data in a manual way and it is going to get stored and all that sort of a thing. While now it has been shifted to a real-time insights from the connected instruments, wearable devices, and environmental monitoring system, which helps in a real-time data-driven decision making. That is what is the most important thing. When we look at it in the research also, there are a lot of clinical trials are taking place and wearable devices are now available. Those technologies are capturing the data. Maybe around now 70-80% data is now available directly captured from the patients and goes on to R&D for their uh, patient-centric inputs about the various new products getting developed into the clinical trials and all that sort of a thing. So this is a longitudinal biometric data is getting captured and pharmacotheories, genomics is all getting used into these particular systems and all. This is where IoTs play an important role. IoTs also play a role into the smart laboratory instruments and all that sort of a thing. Automated data collection also helps, which reduces the research time by up to almost 60%. Because earlier, all those data capture, writing it down, and then analysis, everything was in a manual basis, which is now moving on to an automation. So that improves the data accuracy, reproducible uh, calculations and all that is there. This also helps in the continuous monitoring about critical parameters like temperature, humidity, pressures, chemical compositions and all. And this helps in a faster data-driven decision making and all. This is moving one more step further about the intelligence into the research environments and all that sort of thing. We are moving from earlier data things to the innovative data-driven decision making and all that sort of thing. So automatic detection and corrections about the environmental factors and also helps in the integrity about the uh, pharmaceutical research and accelerated the decision making and discoveries and all that. IoTs also play a role into environmental monitoring system. We have to maintain those sterile conditions when we are manufacturing the sterile products at the shop floors and all, where you want to monitor the air quality. You want to track it out the particular levels of the temperature, humidity, and all that sort of thing. These are automatically getting recorded by an IoT sensors and all. automatic adjustments about HVAC systems also plays a role and all. And this real-time monitoring assure you good environmental conditions which are required for those sterile products manufacturing and all this. So this helps in the prevention of any failures and all that sort of a thing, or if there are any contamination risk detections or something are there, and helps you in a good laboratory practices and all those standards needs to get maintained. Now coming to the IoT enabled manufacturing, we are really looking real-time production manufacturing, production data monitoring and all that sort of thing. So IoT sensors help in monitoring temperature, pressure, humidity, and other speeds like in a mixing and all that sort of thing when you are looking for either a tablet, capsules, injectables, no various manufacturing is there where you want to monitor by 24 by 7 all that data about the production and process parameters and that sort of thing. And this also helps in detection of any deviation if the temperature or pressures or any parameters which are likely to cross, if it is showing the trend or something like that, triggers can be automatically generated and that gives an alert messages to take a necessary corrective actions and all this. So continuous monitoring capabilities are being developed by adoption of IoTs and all, which helps in meeting the quality standards, helps in improving the production efficiencies and regulatory compliances and all. Now we are also looking at it as smart manufacturing equipments. We are going to have a closed loop control systems, which automatically controls and adjusts the process parameters without any intervention of human. Earlier, it was all human based, so there could be a possibility of any errors or not taking a necessary action when the process parameters are going beyond the limits or something like that. So if you look at it in a tablet compression machines which are equipped with the pressure sensors, and they adjust the compression forces and all. And this type of a thing really reduces the human error by almost 85% or even it may be more also. And that assure you a consistent product of a high quality, which is really a essential requirement to offer the best quality products to the patients and all that sort of thing. Another application of IoT is into cold chain monitoring. As you know, in a cold chain, we have to also again monitor the temperature, pressures, and all that sort of a thing. And this is a more challenge because the cold chain, the vehicles are moving across the geographies and all that sort of a thing. So in such cases, the smart sensors, IoT-enabled sensors, GPS tracking, and cloud analytics, they work together to monitor temperature, humidity, shock, light exposures, or something like that. And this data, along with the cloud, goes to and does the analysis and generate the necessary alarms or alert messages and all. And this gives a real-time visibility, real-time data about the product conditions and all that. So this is what is most important to assure a patient about a good quality product. Another important application of IoT is in a predictive analytics in a cold chain. Predictive analytics in the cold chain is something like that. Again, as we are anticipating if there is a possibility of any equipment failures. As we discussed in the last slide, the temperature, pressures, light, and all the shocks, anything, all these parameters get accepted, and those are also stored into the cloud, where your artificial intelligence can do a predictive analytics and may indicate to you if there is any possibility after any time period or something like that, that these parameters may go out of the process limits or something like that. And these are the things are very important, especially when you are looking about the vaccine distribution, which are to be stored at a particular storage temperature conditions and all that sort of a thing. So mostly all the large pharma companies have now started using this to ensure that ultra cold temperature maintenance and all that sort of a thing. And this is really very essential when you're thinking about it, the global distribution network and all that sort of thing. Automated responses help in environmental threats by triggering those messages or may advise the routine changes or storage arrangements to be changed or something like that when you're transporting mainly the sensitive pharmaceuticals and all this. This IoT has also an application by interfacing with a blockchain. We can develop a smart packaging and serialization. IoT and blockchain can work together, which builds up a comprehensive traceability network. And that will assure you to combat the counterfeiting. That's the spurious products getting into the systems and all that sort of a thing. And provides a supply chain visibility in a real-time basis. That's what is more important. RFID tags and a QR codes gets connected to IoT network, and that goes on tracking the detailed product tracking, batch tracking, and all. And from the patient point of view, if the patient want to really track it out, the entire sequence, starting from the manufacturing to the distribution to the logistic and all that sort of thing, gets integrated. GPS, that's a global positioning system, can also really help in tracking of the movement of the product or a batch in the entire cold chain and all. And this real-time visibility or a shipment can also reduce the delivery delays by almost up to 50% and all. And it can also help in a route optimization. Now, predictive analytics and machine learning, they have to really work together. Predictive analytics will based on combining the IoT sensor data with artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms. They will work together. That will help from transforming operations to reactive to proactive. See, earlier we were taking the data and then it was getting processed. Now the data is going on online and it can help you to take a proactive decisions or plan decisions and all that sort of thing. AI algorithms and sensor data will work together. That will help in continuous process streams and all, and identify patterns that will help in the preceding the equipment failures, quality deviations and all. Improvements are also reported, and that will help in overall equipment effectiveness. That's what is there. This is where machine learning, continuous improvement, and unprecedented levels of controls can be developed into the system. Now, this has also got an interface with the digital twin technologies. What is really is a digital twin is a real-time virtual representation. That is what is really happening at a manufacturing level. So digital twins is a mirror image about the physical production processes in a real-time basis, but that can really help to guide you that what necessary actions to be taken up based on to the IoT sensor data for synchronization. So simulation and optimizations work together based on to the operating scenarios which are being observed or expected at a manufacturing level. And that will help to reduce the disruptions which probably may happen it and all that sort of a thing. And this also helps in or gives you an identify about the testing and predictive capabilities. That is any process changes or any predictive equipment modifications or activities to be done are also identified. And this simulate the impact about the entire your manufacturing process or uh, supply chain process, no? Starting from material properties, environmental conditions, and equipment settings, and all that sort of a thing. So this is what it is a help in IoT as well as working with the digital twins and all. That is helpful in automated compliance reporting, compliance monitoring and all. We are also supposed to have a contamination detection systems, which is where again IoT sensors will help to monitor the air quality, uh, particular particulate matters or potential contamination flows, and those details are also getting triggered, and that can help in monitoring the product at a batch. Will assure you the patient safety and all that. Real-time monitoring basically helps in more onto the sterile production setup where you have to maintain the uh, uh, conditions about air quality and all that sort of a thing. That helps in regulators and visibility into the environmental control systems and all. Real-time quality assurance is also helpful because continuous quality monitoring has been uh, helped by IoT data recording and all that sort of a thing. And automated quality control systems really helps in monitoring the like weight, hardness, dissolution rates, chemical composition, mainly into maybe your tablet, ointment, capsules, and all that sort of a thing. And this will also reduce the defect rates by almost up to 75%. So in case if there are any possibilities of product getting failure or something, those are recorded and those are identified and necessary corrective actions will be taken up. And this data about the process validation also is monitored, and IoT sensors take those critical process parameter data and uh, maintain those batch manufacturing records also. So what is the growth of IoT into entire pharmaceutical things and all those sort of things? So pharmaceutical IoT market is expanding very rapidly. It was expected around 12 billion 2024 and likely to cross 75, 72 billions by 2034. So a growth rate of almost 20%. And many more IoT technologies are coming up, which are going to give a competitive advantage, and it will help in regulatory market environments also actually. So healthcare market, which is the next step, getting connected to the patients, and as I discussed earlier about the wearable, the data capture is also coming up, which is also likely to reach to almost a 500 billion or something like that. So that is going to be an advantage to the healthcare market also. So what are those investment patterns are there? So one is of course the corporate or government support into IoT adoption is there, which is helping adoption onto the IoT, which is moving very fast in next couple of years. But when we look at it at the next step at the healthcare market, there is going to be a substantial growth, no, across all major regions. No? whether it's a US, Europe, Asian countries, and all the sort of a thing. And this is moving up very fast, and large pharma companies are already started adopting it, and that's moving very fast. Then comes to the technological convergence, actually. So how that IoT with advanced technology, like as I mentioned earlier, IoT with artificial intelligence, along with the blockchain, with the cloud computing, all these things are going to get integrated. And this creates an integrated platform, will have a very comprehensive value. So we discuss about the pharma value chain. This is where it goes on looking at it. And we have to really keep the integrated approach about all these various technologies. So we have to start with one technology, but start integrating it so as to get a better benefits from this thing. Then, as I mentioned into about the healthcare, remote patient monitoring is becoming more important, and this is again capturing the data. So you can really monitor the patient's data by even sitting the doctor maybe at some other places. But the communication systems which have really improved a lot, that is basically capturing the patient data about his health parameters and all with wearable devices. It monitors the thing, and that data is personalized systems getting supported from the doctors, from the hospitals and all. And that is improving the patient's outcome and all. So this reduces the healthcare cost by admitting the patient into the hospitals, and all those expenses can be reduced that patients are information is monitored. This moves one more level further down is the telehealth integration. That is, IoT devices with the telehealth platforms will be available. That creates a comprehensive care with the coordination systems and all. And pharmaceutical value chain gets extended to the patient care systems and all. This is where medical devices of remote monitoring gets connected into the systems, and continuous visibility if monitoring the treatment to the patient is really available. And that assure the patient also about the safety with the continuous monitoring. This is what is the advantage which really we are looking at it. And digital therapeutics applications, again using that IoT is really available, and this complemented earlier traditional pharmaceutical intervention systems which were there, which were getting monitored uh, by local manual integration, that is going to get shifted by the IoT monitoring and all this. FDA has also taken up a leadership, and they are also keen to have an IoT adoption and all. So when number of pilot programs are also started, which demonstrate the safety and efficacy over there. Digital health innovation action plans are also getting generated, which also indicates a clear regulatory path and all that sort of thing. And there are favorable conditions are coming up, which encourage the investments into IoT technologies, keeping in mind about the patient safety and the product quality and all. International regulatory conversions are also there. These are also taking into consideration how pharma companies can implement or do the standardizations about the IoT solutions and all. And this is also playing a very important role, while patients are also there, as well as the regulatory requirement documentations are also maintained. In Europe, also medicines agencies and healthcare. Uh, Canada also is developing the harmonized IoT regulations and all that sort of a thing. This is where pharma companies are now leveraging the IoT investments into this. So we have to really think about this IoT integrations into a global market. And good manufacturing practices evolution is also there. regulatory recognition is also taking place based on to these IoT benefits. So real-time data collection improve the process control, as I mentioned, onto the manufacturing execution system and all. Clear framework for IoT implementations are also getting developed, which also maintains the compliance and all. This also supports the quality assurance program where the GMP requirements documentations is maintained, and that reduces the compliance cost and improves the audit readiness and all, and improve the regulatory inspections when there are any audits or something like that. The ready data is available, which is not manually maintained, but is directly maintained the data. So there is a assured data captured is there. Now, looking at it, what should be the next generation IoT capabilities? The integration of quantum computing and IoTs are also visualized. And this process is about the vast amount of the sensor data. As you know, the sensors can go on capturing various process parameter as a time frequencies which you define it and all the sort of things. So this could be a vast amount of data, and that with the quantum computing can really help with the edge computing capabilities are coming up and all the sort of thing. This improve the response times for the critical applications and autonomous manufacturing systems which are coming up. These enable the lights out into the manufacturing operation, and seamless data sharing across the organization's operations will really help a lot. Now, this is where the you have to think about the strategic implementations. As we discuss about IoT, its various applications, its benefits and all, integrated approach is required into the implementation. When I say integrated, it's a technology infrastructure, data analytics capabilities, cloud technology, AI algorithm, machine learning. So many things are there, which also needs to thought about it is about the regulatory compliances, organizational change management and all. So these things have to really work together. So when we think about the strategy of drawing a plan for IoT adoption, IoT implementation, and the investment required, these existing systems, the transformations, and what really we are looking at it, we should identify those key processes which can really help a lot based on to the investment which is really required. So internal, external expertise which is really required, both from the domain point of view, technology point of view, transformation point of view, all those things have to be worked it out. So this is going to create a value-based care models actually. So this is where we have to think about it. So after considering all this, I'm just coming to a conclusion. That is, this transformation of pharma industry by adoption of IoT, creating, manufacturing, distribution, and delivering the therapeutic solution is a entire system which you will have to think about it. You have to think about strategic implementations, connect the research systems to the intelligent manufacturing systems and going up to the supply chain, cold chain and all, reaching to the patient engagement. So there's a big thing where IoT can create a value chain for the pharma industry there, and that will help in achieving the operational and business excellence. So we have to really look and think about the IoT as a revolution and how it will help from operational standards to the patient care capabilities and all. And that is where the innovations and improving the global health outcome can really come up and all. Now, more details are also discussed onto our various other videos and platforms onto this, or even in the books also. So I do request all of you to refer to them also. Do subscribe the other channels, do look at it, the books also. I'm quite sure it will be very helpful for you to have a success into IoT adoption and get a good benefits from the entire system, sir. Thank you. Bye.